always, cheers, folks. Mark, the Flying Health Coach, coming at you. Happy Saturday night. Hope everyone's off. Hope everyone is off to a great weekend so far. I've noticed that's something I do all the time. When I mess something up, I always like lean in and say something else. I don't know. It's weird. It's mannerism is what I do. I don't know. Anyway, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. What brings me to tonight is I want to talk about, well, showing the whiteboard. Trusty whiteboard, right? Fear and letting go, a pilot's perspective, right? So fear and letting go, a pilot's perspective. So I got two stories for you tonight about me that we're going to talk about and hopefully relate back to you and kind of what's going on in your life. And hopefully, I tell these stories because I want them to be beneficial. The whole reason I made this channel in the first place was to showcase vulnerability, right? And that it's a strength, it's not a weakness. I know a lot of guys that watch these videos, or a lot of guys out there are scared to talk about emotions or like the deep inner darkness inside them to anybody, not just to their person they're dating, their wife, to their friends or family, anyone, right? They bottle that shit up like it's no one's business. Now, if you do it every single day, it can get kind of old kind of fast, right? But point is that we want to showcase our vulnerability. We want to showcase our fears so you can improve your health and you can focus on letting them go. And that's the big thing of tonight is letting go, right? So to kick this off, I want to talk about what I used to think letting go meant, right? Way back when I was in my early, mid, even late 20s, and relationships are always a good one to look at. And I mean, you can use anything in life. It doesn't be relationships. It can be, a situation or an event that happened or something that made you embarrassed or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Put whatever thing happened to you in life that you're having a tough time letting go of, right? But for the longest time, I always thought letting go meant like letting go of that event, letting go of that situation, letting go of that person, right? Letting go of like a very like an event's not physical, right? But letting go of like the very forefront of whatever it was, right? Again, relationship, I got to let go of that person to heal, right? If I fail the check ride, right? I need to let go of that failure, right? If I got embarrassed somewhere, I need to let go of that just event in general, the people there that I got embarrassed by, whatever, right? But as I've grown older and as I've done more research and read more books, I've really learned to, what I used to do is I always would attach an emotion to person, event, situation, whatever, check ride failure, right? There's always an emotion attached to it, right? So for so long, I was very superficial on my thinking. I would always think I need to let go of that situation, you need to let go of that person specifically. But in reality, it's just letting go of that emotion attached to it, right? Because everyone that comes in your life, it's a beautiful thing, right? They teach you something new about yourself. Everything you go through in life, every failure you have, if you're a pilot, if you fail a check ride, right? It's a way for you to grow. It's something to learn, right? But it's hard to let that action of something that you did, it's hard to let that go because you have an emotion attached to it, right? And a lot of times that emotion can be fear, right? So I want to tell you a story. First one I want to tell you is when I really started to kind of understand these concepts, right? So this one I have never told anybody. People know about it, but they never knew why. Okay, so buckle in for a second. It's a short one. It's not long. I don't want this video to be long. But last year I went to a training at a 121 company. I enjoyed it for a month or two, but after about a month or two, I don't know what it was, but I just really started to dislike who I was. I remember I was calling my girlfriend at the time. I was calling my friends, my family, and I was just constantly complaining. It was just incessant complaining all the time, and I just did not like where I was, because I knew in my heart it's not what I truly wanted to do in my life. Well, why'd you do it, Marcus? I'll tell you. I did it for other people, right? I did it for the fear of, well, I'm here now. If I don't accomplish this, people will think less of me. if I don't accomplish this, I'm not going to live the life I want to live. It was all fear based, right? So I kept going through that process strictly for all superficial stuff, right? It was nothing on the inside, right? And that was a big mistake I made. Um, but what also happened was I attached such a strong emotion to this success. I remember it like it was yesterday. I can still feel it. The day of my check ride, right? I had passed the maneuvers validation, I had passed my knowledge validation, and then the actual ride came. And I just kept thinking to myself, God, Mark, if you pass this, your life's going to change and it's going to be forever different, and everyone's going to think highly of you, and all your friends have passed it, so why can't you? And yada yada yada. List goes on and on and on and on and on, right? But I had attached such a strong emotion to this, to where it's the reason why I failed, right? I wasn't clear headed at all. I wasn't thinking logically. I wasn't thinking. Because of the emotion I attached to it. I was attached to the outcome of what I thought was going to happen, right? It was so strong. And when I failed, I literally felt like my life was over, right? Literally, I mean, to a T. When I got on that plane, to come back home, I hated getting on that plane, flying back home from Utah. I absolutely hated it. I hated every minute of it. And every day ever since then, a day hasn't gone by where I haven't replayed that. And I literally made one mistake, right? And there's if you're a CFI, right? There's your suppression and repression and projection, right? Or rationalization, all those fun words you want to toss in for defense mechanisms. But I did, made one mistake. And that mistake I replay in my head over and over and over again every day, like just a god awful video, really bad horror movie. Until I came to realization where I need to let go of that emotion, right? I can't ever change that action of what I did, right? But what I need to do is let go of that emotion I attached to it. Now, thankfully, I'm getting a second chance at the ATP check right next month, which I'm super excited for. I'm very grateful for it. And they'll do another video down the road of like momentum and identity. And I love identity videos, so we'll keep doing those because I think they're really important in shadow work. But so that's that backstory, right? It's letting go, broad spectrum letting go. We'll talk about how to do it, but it's letting go of an attachment you have, right? An emotional attachment you have to something, okay? And again, that something can be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Only you know what that is, right? So how do you do that? How can you let go of an attachment? Well, to an emotion. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Before we do, just want to take a quick break because that's what you do in YouTube, right? You always got to say, please don't forget to like and subscribe up in that corner. I feel so silly when I do this, but you do it. And up here, it's awkward, right? flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com. Please feel free to shoot me an email. We can talk about life and talk about coaching, which again is coming out soon. And then I'll get more details on this as time goes. And then finally, I'm going to be dropping my book tomorrow night, Flying Health Coach, Guide to Un-F Your Life. Be up over there. It's going to come out tomorrow night. I'll get a link on YouTube for that, so you can go check out a couple pages of that, see if it's something you'd be interested in reading. I'm going to put it up on a site called, I think it's Zulu or Lulu. I'll put it up there tomorrow night, but it's going to be very inexpensive, right? But I do want to give you guys a taste, so I'll put a link in YouTube tomorrow night so you can read a good amount of it, get a taste of it, and if you want to read more of it, the price is pretty reasonable. I can promise you that. Let's get back to the video, shall we? So, letting go. Let's put this over here just for a second, right? We're going to come back to it. So, letting go over here. Let's talk about fear for a sec, okay? And to talk about fear, I'm going to tie in some aviation principles, right? Specifically, instrument approaches, okay? So, for the folks not in aviation, you'll understand what I'm getting at. And for the folks that are in aviation, hopefully you get a kick out of this and see where I'm going with it, right? No matter who you are, hope you like it and hope it helps, right? More than anything. So let's erase this. And to depict what I'm talking about, we are going to draw the RNAV 1-4 approach into Crystal, Minnesota, KMIC. I have done this approach so many times, it's ridiculous. I pretty much darn near have it memorized. It's not perfect, so if any of my fellow CFI friends watching this, don't pull up an approach plate and judge me on all the things here. Just bear with me, right? So let's draw it. Just give me 1 sec. I promise it's only going to take a second. Okay. So we have OYNOP, OYNOP, GEMF, and we have zapping up there. And OYNOP is your initial approach, or one of your initial approach fixes. Okay? So this looks weird, especially folks that are in aviation watching this. So let me talk about what we're seeing here, right? So this is excuse me, I got an itch in my nose. Call it the profile view of an approach plate, right? Or excuse me, plan view of an approach plate. So bird's eye view, right? And now I'm probably getting my two words mixed up because I'm in the moment and I'm on camera. So, I always get nervous on camera for whatever reason. Anywho, this is an approach plate. It's a bird's eye view, right? It's a bird looking down at what you're doing. So this is what they call the final approach course, right? For the RNAV 14, I believe it's a course. It's either 139 or 141. I know the GPS does some wonky things sometimes. But anyway, approach course, we'll call it 141, right? OYNOP is what they call initial approach fix, right? It's where you can start the approach, okay? So, but what I want to tie in here is OYNOP, the initial approach fix, is your fear. Okay, so bear with me on this one, right? So for the folks that are in aviation, you'll kind of get what I'm talking about here. Initial approach fix, again, is where you start. And if you're not in aviation, that's all you got to know right now. Initial approach fix is where you start the approach, i.e., it's where you start your life, okay? So now we're getting somewhere with that. I'm going to erase this because don't need it no more. That's an approach plate. A really bad drawing of one, mind you. So what I want to write here is your IAF, remember your initial approach fix, where you're going to start the approach, aka your life. Is also your fear. Bear with me. Initial approach fix equals your fear. Okay? So, story behind this one, and is relevant, I promise you. So, there was a time a couple years back where I was with a student and we had done a weather briefing. It was getting close to dusk. It was getting kind of late out at night, and we had took off. And before we knew it, we were between two cloud layers. Those cloud layers got closer and closer and closer and closer to the point now we were in what's called the IMC, which is Instrument Meteorological Conditions. Okay? Essentially, there's no discernible horizon. We were flying in the clouds, which you need to have a clearance from ATC to legally do. Okay? So we were both pretty high time pilots, right? So not an issue calling getting clearance quick, but I had never been in a situation before where I was in a situation at night, right, in IMC conditions where we're in the clouds, no horizon, and you have to fly by sole reference to your instruments, okay? So I'm gonna put this back for a sec. We don't need it right now. So in the situation, right, I'm flying with a student, it's nighttime, get our approach clearance, and I started to feel my heart rate's coming up again, right? Because I've never been in night before in IMC, so it was my first experience for me. So my heart rate's starting to come up. I'm feeling my anxiety kind of like, okay, like I gotta stay calm. I gotta breathe, right? And all I wanted to hear from ATC, because we were getting really close to the airport. We were like maybe 50 miles away, 40 miles. We were getting pretty close. All I wanted to hear was clear direct to the initial approach fix, right? That's all I wanted to hear in the moment, right? Because then I know that I know I'm talking to someone. I know they see me on radar. I know where I'm going, right? I have a plan now. I have an action I can take. You'll see where I'm going with this, right? But in life, we're halted by our fear, right? You have this fear inside you, right? You have this deep-rooted fear of maybe not being successful. Maybe it's, oh God, I don't know if I could go talk to that person again, or I don't know if I should do this action or that action, right? I don't know what to do because you're just crippled by your fear. And remember, what does fear stand for? False evidence appearing real. It's not real, it's a construct, right? It's something you've created inside your head, right? Your greatest fear if you go do that, whatever that is, it's not near as bad as what you think it's going to be. It never is, right? But the mindset, the construct you developed inside your mind is made it this giant thing that is just so scary, right? But you have to go there, right? And how does that tie into letting go? Well, it ties into your identity, right? When it comes to letting go of emotions, right? You've developed such a strong identity with your emotions on the inside, right? That's who you are. You know, I've identified myself as an anxious person for a long time. I've identified myself as this person, that person, right? And even you'd think it's weird, but why am I scared of letting go of anxiety? You know, and anxiety is inherently a bad thing. It can be a great thing sometimes, especially if you can use it to your advantage, right? Get that tunnel vision. We got to focus on something. But point is that we become very fearful of letting go of who you are to become who you want to be, right? So just like your initial approach fix, right? When ATC says, hey, 210 Charlie, clear direct to OINOP, we're going to think back to that chart, right? Clear direct to the initial approach fix, right? Now you're like, okay, I have path, I have a direction. So you have to go to your fear, right? Use fear as your North Star. Use it as your guidance. Use it as your light. And what do I mean by that, right? When you go towards your fear, when you use that as a guide, right? Like a true guide, go toward it, okay? And then look at it and sit with it. Have a conversation with it. Why are you doing this to me? Why am I scared of this still, right? Why am I still like this? But sit with it. Normalize it, right? You're human. You're normal. You're allowed to have fear. It's okay, right? I give you permission to have fear of things. It's okay, but you got to go there. Okay? Go to your fear. Go to those deep, unconscious, subconscious thoughts that you have, okay? And go there. Once you get there, give yourself permission to sit there for a minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 10 minutes, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. But just go there. Go there and sit there for a bit and just feel it. Feel what your fear is, right? Get to that initial approach fix. Just get there, right? Once you get there and you recognize it, I'm doing weird hand gestures right now and I get that. Once you get there, sit with it, right? So let's write that down, okay? So you guys can write this down too or take some notes. Whatever floats your boat. I'm going to use black again. Then I got some other colors. We're going to do some drawings here. It's going to be fun. Well, I think it's fun. You let me know what you think in the comments. But, okay, so let's say this. Okay, 1, we're just going to say go there, i.e. initial approach fix. Your fear, okay? 2, sit there. And 3, I'm going to show you. So gate 1, remember, go there, right? Clear yourself, get clearance for yourself to go to your fear. Marcus, clear direct to your fear. Whatever, right? I'm clear to the initial approach, which is my fear. I'm going to go there, right? And you're going to sit there. You're going to go the holding pattern. Okay, you're going to sit there and hold for a little bit. Pilot folks, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a normal folk watching this, just sit there. Just sit there in silence. Sit there for a minute, 10 minutes, whatever it is. But just sit with your fear for a little bit, okay? Third thing is, can you allow it, right? Can you, could you, would you, okay? And what do I mean by that? I'm going to put it up here in the corner. Or actually up here. Let's put it up there. Hawkins scale of consciousness, right? The scale of vibrations, right? So why is that important? Well, put this up here one more time before the folks. I know, awesome video, right? Going back and forth. Step 1, go to your fear. And we're talking this how we're going to rope back in, letting go. Okay? So step 1, letting go. Give yourself clearance to go to initial approach fix, i.e. your fear. Clear yourself there. I can go there. I'm safe, right? It's my own fear. I created it. I can go there, okay? So go there. When you get there, sit there for a little bit. Sit there for 30 seconds, for a minute, 5 minutes, 10, whatever, doesn't matter. But just sit there for a little bit and feel it and recognize it and look at it. Have a conversation with it. Normalize it, right? It's not a bad thing. It's just what you've created in your mind, okay? Thirdly, Can I allow this emotion? Can I allow this? Now, a lot of you that are watching are thinking, no, I don't want to allow my fear. I don't want to allow that bad emotion in my life. But look at it this way, okay? Allowing is willingness, okay? When you allow something, when you allow yourself to sit with something that's not so fun and positive in your life, that shows willingness. You know what that means? It shows your willingness to accept it. And it's accepting you for you, accepting that I have this inside of me. When you're willing to accept that fear, willing to accept those not so fun emotions, that's a step up towards those higher vibrational states. That's a step up towards forgiving yourself, happiness, peace, calmness, serenity, right? Ooh, serenity. It's a fun word, isn't it? But when you allow yourself, when you are willing and allow yourself to look at your fear and accept it and are willing to accept it, that gives you a chance to move up on that vibrational scale towards happiness, which is going to allow you to let go of that emotion. It's going to allow you to let go of what's been troubling deep inside you for years and years and years. You know, my biggest one again was last year, my 121 world. I haven't let that go for over a year now, until I finally really understood what it was I was holding on to. And I only did that by allowing myself to go to my initial approach fix, i.e. my fear, okay? Sit with that fear. Why is it that I felt this way? Oh, because I wanted to impress other people. I wanted to feel like I was accepted. I wanted to feel special. I wanted whatever, right? Whatever it means for you, but that's what it meant for me, okay? But I was doing all this stuff for all the wrong reasons. And then I finally understood that, and I was able to let it go. And when I did, I found my happiness again, right? And now I have a second chance at that again next month, right? So when you let stuff go and you put yourself in those higher vibrational states, life can just start to happen for you again. You don't have to be stuck. Lastly, right? Can you allow it? Would you allow it? Allow it. Have the willingness to accept that fear. When you do, when you're willing to accept it, you can sit with it more, you can understand it more. And when you understand it more, you're going to understand yourself more better as well. I'm great with words if you couldn't tell. That allows you to move up on that scale of consciousness, allows you to move up towards happiness, peace, calmness, all those good positive words, right? So, summation of tonight's video. Biggest things, right? Fear and letting go. What are you fearful of? Think about it. What are those deep emotions, those dark emotions that you're really scared of? It just shows who you are. It shows your identity. It's not a bad thing. It's not wrong. It's just it's what you've developed over life, right? So identify that. When you do, clear yourself to go there. Clear yourself to go towards your fear. Clear yourself to go towards your fear, right? Have a little fun with it, right? Be light with it. You don't have to be serious about this stuff, but go toward it. I clear myself to go towards my fear. Go toward it. Get there. Sit with it for a little bit. Sit with it for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Half hour, doesn't matter. Sit with it. Even journal about it, right? Write it down. Once you do that, like I can accept this because this is me. Doesn't mean it's forever, but I can accept this. I can sit with this. I'm okay. Once you do that, it's going to allow your brain to work through those emotions, that fear, a whole lot easier. As you do that, you're going to find yourself moving towards those higher vibrational states of happiness, and calmness, and peace, empathy. Doesn't mean you're ever going to forget what happened. It's not what really letting go is. But again, what I found, letting go of the emotion that you've attached to that certain thing. Whatever it is for you, doesn't matter. But learn to let go. Okay? Because like Timber Hawkeye said, learn to let go what's killing you, even if it's killing you to let go. So, hope this video was helpful, right? Again, Flying Health Coach, aka Mark, or Mark, aka Flying Health Coach. Going to be available for coaching again hopefully mid-July. once I get my ATP check ride done, I want to get that stuff straightened out, and then I'll have more time to devote back to my health coaching. So until then, please feel free to reach out with any kind of questions, comments, concerns. And again, my book drop's going to be tomorrow night. I don't know what time exactly, but be tomorrow night. So please feel free to download a good majority of a free copy on YouTube. And then if you're so inclined, you want to get the full copy and full workbook, that's going to be on Zulu or Lulu.com. I'll put a link up there if you guys are interested in it. But I think it's going to be really helpful. We'll talk about it tomorrow night. And as always, thank you guys for taking the time to pay attention tonight. Hope the video was helpful. Try some of this stuff, and I promise you, it's going to help you, make you feel a lot more calm in life. Again, the point is letting go is not quitting. It's not failing. It's just helping you get back to you. That's all it is. Understanding who you are as a person. Okay? So do that for me. Peace and cheers, folks. We'll see you soon.